Hi, everybody. What is up? Travis and Caroline here today to talk about the new WandaVision episode, which I have very highly and disappointing choice words for. But before
You
I
have
get into it,
Wait,
I
you have
have
disappointing?
disappointing. Yeah,
Uh,
yeah,
I
yeah.
mean, I mean, I thought it was okay.
Well, what did you think of it as like general terms before we get into the big reveals?
I don't know. I thought I'd be blown away, but I wasn't. But I wasn't disappointed. But I
Yeah,
was. But I
yeah,
wasn't disappointed.
yeah,
I don't know. I feel like more was supposed to happen.
yeah.
I really feel like a lot more was supposed to happen.
Yeah. I'm just really confused because they like revealed the big, character being Agnes, which one we all knew from the start.
Well, that's not necessarily the case. Some
Oh.
people did. What happened to all the fan theories that it was like Mephisto?
Well, no, that can still be a thing, but like the big thing was that Agnes was Agatha Harkness, or however you pronounce her last name. That was the biggest theory, that like that was who she was.
I believed early on that she was of some significance
Yeah.
because of the fact that she was in every episode.
Yeah.
Like
Oh yeah.
if she's like Wanda's like right hand man sort of situation, I'm just like, okay, well she's
Yeah.
up to something.
Oh yeah. No, and they didn't make it so she was like best friends with Wanda. It was more like she was there when Wanda needed help.
Yeah.
And it was just like convenient. Way too convenient. And I was like, okay, like we know she's obviously bad.
I didn't think she was obviously bad. I don't know. Eh, I can't put my finger on it. At first I started really believing that like maybe she had some role to play, or like somebody said a theory a long time ago where it was like maybe her husband is
Yeah.
Mephisto,
Yeah.
and so she's doing his bidding, but she's also a prisoner. And I kind of really started believing that the last episode,
Mm-hmm.
like episode 6, because of this whole scene she had with Vision in her car, and she's just okie dokie neighbor, like that thing. I'm
Yeah.
like, okay, so like she's having issues, but apparently it was all
Yeah.
an act. So I'm like, okay.
Yeah. No, but I was just disappointed in the fact, I feel like if she's like the main villain of this entire thing, they have one episode left, right? Or they have two.
I don't know how long they're going. Everybody, I thought I was told it's like 8 episodes, but then other people are saying it might actually be 9. Like we might get surprised, or I don't know.
I mean, I can see us getting surprised by it because you can't wrap it all up in one 30-minute episode after that.
Yeah. Wait, it's going to be 30 minutes?
Well, probably.
The shows have been pushed to like almost 40, I think, like
Yeah.
37-ish.
But
So,
like if you count the amount of time that is for the end credits,
oh yeah, that's like
it's
what,
a lot
10,
of time.
10 that's like 10 years of
Yeah.
time. Like it's just super long.
But speaking of end credits, did you see the little snippet end credit scene?
If I did, I'm assuming there was only the one.
Yeah, there's only the one.
Okay, yeah, that one was disappointing.
Yeah, yeah.
I was told going in there's going to be an end credit scene. I'm like, okay, Marvel, here we go. And then the conversation we had with the last episode where it was just like patience, I felt like that. It was like such a letdown because you just have Monica Rambeau like opening the basement doors,
Yeah.
and then all of a sudden she just turns around and Pietro's like, ew, you're snooping. And I'm like, that's it?
Yeah, but at least it like gave us some kind of closure, as in the fact Monica did technically find Wanda. So Wanda,
how wait, hold on. That gave you closure for
no, but I'm just saying, like, at least they're like kind of like pushing it forward, being like, okay, now that Monica, it pushes into the next episode, not just leaving us on like, well, Wanda's screwed. Sorry.
Yeah, you liked it because of the fact it's like really pushing towards the fact that they're gonna probably team up.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I would probably agree with that. The one thing I did like about this episode, which I thought was interesting, was the somewhat development that they had for Monica. It's not a lot. I just like how now we're starting to see signs of she goes back in, She like Monica goes back in on her own once again, and because of the fact that she, out of all people, is able to push through, that means there's definitely something special about her. And then we get confirmation because then when she goes and she confronts Wanda again, she gets like lifted up out of the air, and when she gets dropped, she does that power, like that superhero pose, and gets up. She's got the glowing eyes and everything, knowing now that she's like starting to, you know, come into her actual powers, I guess, from the few times going in before her molecules got mixed around. So again, I think our theories are finally correct when we talked about it last time, which is when we were established that her molecules were being changed, we were like, okay, she's probably because of that getting powers. So this is basically, in a way, Wanda was responsible for creating Monica.
Monica. But okay, again, this isn't like the big reveal of the aerospace engineer, because everyone's like, oh my god, it's the woman. Like, no, we still have that reveal to go, and I'm gonna be so upset. I really feel like the fans have made this show more than it's actually going to deliver.
Probably.
And it's now hyping everyone's expectations up.
Yeah.
To the point where it's just like meh every episode.
Yeah, that's why I'm thinking it's going as well. So I feel like in hindsight, in retrospect, I don't know if we're going to get as much of a payoff as we want. And this is why I'm fearful of that. Mm-hmm. When we got the big reveal towards the end of this latest episode, knowing that what's her name? Is it Margaret? Is it Margaret?
Who's Margaret?
Who's the
Agatha?
Oh yeah, Agatha. such a strong name. When we found out it was Agatha, it was kind of really sappy. I know, I feel they are still playing off of, I guess, like old like tropes and stereotypes of how they like revealed her. So I get that, but I just felt like it was kind of cheap. Like, you know, she just kind of appears in the basement, and it's just like, it's like, you're not going anywhere, ha 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 ha, and then like it has that whole montage of her every every episode.
A bop. That was such a bop.
What do you mean?
The song.
Oh, okay, fine. Sure, I'll give it that. But like everything else that we saw, and it was like her just out of vision of everybody else, and her just like winking at the camera and stuff like that. I'm just like, this is how you're gonna reveal the big baddie to me? And then like, to make it even worse, at the end she looks at the camera and goes, I killed the dog too. I'm like, what is going on? What is this choice you're making? It was
just so anticlimactic. It's just like, haha, here's the villain you guys knew. Haha, it was me the entire time. Like,
yeah, it probably would have been more impactful if, like, when it was revealed, it happened like there was no suspicion built up towards her.
Yeah.
Up until like that point. So that way it's just like, what? But there was like, even in the previous episode, there was a little bit hinting at it. And then all of this episode, when she was just like trying to act normal, the way that she was staring at the characters, the way that she was talking, the way she was trying to cover up things, I'm like, all right, something is up. And also, I already have a strong sense that she's aware of what's going on. She's not completely like brainwashed. Like, I was completely on the fence about her, and like already had the feeling like something's off. So that way, the reveal at the end wasn't as, that didn't have as much of a payoff. So just overall, it was like, okay, I get it, but I mean, could we have done this just a little bit better? Because I'm kind of just in here like, okay, I guess, okay. The only thing that I feel like could have saved this last episode and made it a little bit better is if I saw a little bit more with Monica.
Yeah.
Because like this whole time we're like roaming around and stuff, and like, you know, we have Wanda looking at the camera and talking all that stuff, you know, or inner monologue or whatever. But like and then like I was so hopeful we were going to get something really cool with Monica when she first encountered her. But then all it turns into is that she just follows them.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah, which again, I don't think she realizes she has powers yet.
I know, I totally get that. It's just like I honestly, out of that whole episode, I was just more interested in Monica than anybody else because it's just like it's still the same story with Wanda. It's still like not a surprising story with Agatha. And I'm
Yeah.
just like I honestly really feel like the most captivating character that I want to know the most about and I want to see do something is Monica. Like I don't even really care about Wanda right now.
Yeah. No. At this point, I just want to be shocked, and I haven't been shocked yet.
Yeah. And then and that's just going back to the end credit scene. I'm like, that has got to be the shortest and most anticlimactic end credit scene I've
No,
ever seen.
I still think Cap.
No,
There.
no, no, because here's the thing. The reason why the Cap one about patience beats that one is because they had years to build up to that joke, and that's what it was, a joke. This one, it was just kind of like half thought out. Like, you got caught. Like, you could have literally just put that in another episode.
Yeah. And I guess that also confirms that Quicksilver, Evan Peters' character in this, is not from the X-Men.
Yeah, probably not. Or it could be theorized that he is Quicksilver, but who is dead, but Agatha like is doing some conjuring stuff to bring him back. I don't know. That's the one thing I'm trying to figure out. So I think from seeing the show, like the whole episode, we have Wanda dealing with looking at her environment and seeing elements start to change, showing that she's kind of like losing her grip. But now I'm starting to think, what if it's her starting to self-doubt herself and the world like around her, because she's kind of in that stage personally as a character in this whole entire episode, and everything changing is not her losing her control and having the world kind of start to crumble around her. What if it's like Agatha has been putting on a show for her the entire time and making it feel like she's the one controlling it, and then like her starting to doubt is making her start to peek through the veil.
Yeah.
You know, I think it's like we look at it one way, and in Wanda's head, she takes it this whole direction of I'm losing control, I can't do this. But really, in retrospect, it's no, somebody has constructed this for you. But the fact you're starting to doubt means the charade is going away, and you're actually starting to break through. You know, like, but she doesn't know that yet because she's so conflicted inside with her emotions. You know, if that's the case, which I feel like it is, that is something really interesting. I did appreciate that in this episode because it's just dealing with a linear set of emotions, but because of the context that different people have, it can be taken in multiple directions. That's well done.
See, but I raise you this. TikTok has been like my gateway to all these theories because they've been actually pretty spot on. There's also the theory that the theme song that we get at the end for Agatha is sung by the bigger, badder main villain of this show.
Yeah.
That Agatha
pops.
is actually, originally was supposed to be helping him, but is now like doing all her magic stuff to protect Wanda. Because the theme song is sung from another person's point of view about everything Agatha's been doing.
Yeah. I mean, it's been showing that Agatha has been like every scenario. Oddly enough, every scenario where in every episode where the charade kind of broke a little bit, and you know, doubt and realization started to come into play, Agatha was there.
Yep.
So, and now that we know that she's the big bad, we know that I think those are the attempts at Wanda breaking through a little bit and starting to doubt again, and Agatha's there to pick up the pieces and keep the mask on.
Yeah,
I think that's what it is. But it's weird because like the one episode when it was like based in like the 70s and stuff, and like Vision was outside talking to Agatha and Bert is his name.
Yes, I think
that one was the most confusing because it's like it showed her in that moment like brainwashing him and stuff. But it's like she played the part so well of like she knew something was up, but she was like she was like begging other people not to do it when she could just like control them. You know, it's like Bert was trying to like give information away about Monica, you know, in that episode, like she doesn't have a home, she doesn't belong here, and she's like, no, please don't say that. And like it made me really doubt like how is she how is she controlling this? Because like what, like I don't know, like some things don't really
Yeah.
fall into play how they were executed. It's a little weird.
Well, that's also the bigger thing. There's also another theory that people had knocked it down to 3 villains. This could be Mephisto, of course, Nightmare, and Ultron.
It's not going to be Ultron. It really shouldn't.
No, I don't think so either. But also, Sword was messing with still technically the Jarvis mainframe when they were messing with Vision's body. And who's to say, we can't have another Shield situation?
Maybe, but I feel like that's such a long stretch for them that they're not going to go that route. I think Marvel, out of anybody, they don't like to rehash old villains. I think they want to try to bring something new to the table. So the one thing we can definitely hopefully get from this is the fact that they're not going to try to bring Ultron back. They're going to try to go a different and more new direction. I mean, that being said, maybe for some odd reason, maybe Agatha's trying to do something in order to maybe bring Ultron back, but that's just a random idea I'm throwing out there, but there's no connection to that whatsoever. I feel like we have a better shot of it maybe being Mephisto. Some people were going crazy and saying like
the Fly.
Yeah, like, but I think it was a cocoon. No, I think it was like a cocoon.
No, it was a cicada or a fly or something on the window, and that's when Wanda realizes she screwed.
But I don't get how. She looks at that thing and it's just like sitting there, and all of a sudden she's like out. She's like aware again. I'm like, wait, what?
All I know is apparently in the comics, that's the first time Mephisto shows up is as a fly.
Is as a fly.
Is as a fly. As grammar as that is.
Is as a fly. Then okay, but my question is like, I guess like when she sees it, it's just really weird for like as a character. You're like you're in this trance, and all of a sudden you look around. The second you look at a window with a fly on it, you're like, what's going on here? Like it's just weird.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like Mephisto could have finally shown up because Agatha was going against him.
But isn't this the sort of stuff Mephisto wants?
Yes, but I feel like it would also want it to be the more his way.
Yeah, this is my question. If it is going to be Mephisto, which I feel like it could be, how does Mephisto and Agatha relate? Like, what is I don't even know what a known possible connection between those two are.
I mean, I feel like he could revolve around any of the MCU characters just because he is deemed as like the devil and like the like overseer of hell. Like he doesn't really have a niche like say the Joker with Batman or the Riddler with Spider-Man, where they're like constrained to that corner of the MCU. And I realized I used a DC reference. I realized that. So, but if I don't know, I'm still
see, you're just as confused. Like I don't, and that's the other thing. This is again what we were saying earlier, where I feel like we're just going to get disappointed because we don't really have any real proof at all that it's like Mephisto is really even going to be a thing. Like I know when it comes to like storytelling and filmmaking and stuff, when you show something, it's with an intent. So there's definitely something behind the reason that they took time, even though it was a split moment, they took time to have her look at a window that had a cocoon or a fly, whatever.
Yeah, like
that was clearly a sign. But still, I'm just like, I'm more concerned about like just what is Agatha and Mephisto's relation? Because at first I was thinking, oh, if they reveal him and she's involved, cool, and they're working together.
See, my entire thing, I said this last time we talked, I feel like this show is just going to end up being an entire Captain America situation.
How so?
As in, they're just messing with us. They know we're in this deep, and they're like, ha 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 ha. Jokes on you.
But I don't think Marvel's going to make a show that's not going to have some sort of setup,
well, no, of course it's going to set up.
Conclusion, but
I think they're putting all these Easter eggs in just to screw with us.
Maybe. Like that's not been beyond Marvel, but most of the time, it has to be.
If we don't get Reed Richards,
you're not gonna. I feel like you're not
will
gonna
back
get
up.
That. I don't think you're gonna get that.
Well, like, why else would you say an aerospace engineer? Like, that's so random.
I don't know, but I'm just saying
So
I don't think
random.
you're gonna get that. Like, I don't know why, but after watching this episode, I'm really doubtful of them making massive leaps like that. I know the biggest one that they did was bringing back, Quicksilver and having
Mhm.
it be Evan Peters, sure, but that's not really as big of a leap as actually like I don't know. I just don't think they're gonna do it. I just not with this show. Like if they do it, great, amazing, holy shit. Like but we would have heard. We would have heard
No, no,
something.
no.
We would have
Marvel,
heard
no. Mm-mm.
something before
Marvel
this
is
show.
the. Hey, Tom Holland's not in this, so we would have not heard anything.
Wait,
Tom
what?
Holland, because he's the worst at keeping Marvel secrets.
They don't tell him anything. He's not a
That's
part
what
of
I'm
the
saying.
show.
That's what I'm saying. If it, like, we're not going to hear anything.
You adamantly believe that we're going to get
I
like a
do.
potential Fantastic Four.
I mean, I think that's already in the works, right?
I don't think so. I've not heard
I thought it
anything about
was.
that.
Because they're all like gung ho about John Krasinski, or that could just be a fan thing.
I don't. So this is what I'm getting used to with this show. I'm getting used to the fact that we have a theory that it's going to be somebody pretty mainstream that we know and we want to see again, recast it, all that stuff,
Yes.
to get a kind of a reboot in the right way. And then when we're finally given the answer, it's somebody that is an already existing character that's like not well known to the main screen, just more to the comics. They're a little bit more obscure to people who just kind of like watch the shows and the movies. And we're like, oh, who's that? So I feel like what's going to happen more realistically is going to be you're going to expect Reed Richards, and then they're going to be like, hi, how's it going? I'm this person. You're like, who's that? And you'll search and be like, oh, they're this character from here. I'm like, okay, well, I never saw that coming because I didn't read that deep into the comics.
Yeah.
Like I wholeheartedly have a feeling that's when it's going to be, mainly because of the fact that I think they're trying to take more they're searching their library of potential people that they can use that aren't the mainstream people, so that way they can really try to go in a completely different direction that's never been gone before and access a world of storytelling in the Marvel universe that hasn't been cinematically told yet. I feel like that's what they're strongly trying to do. So I don't think they're going to go the main route, the top names. That's why I'm really doubtful. That being said, I want it to be Reed Richards. I want it to be like, Fantastic Four does exist. We're gonna get that. That'd be awesome. I would love to see who's gonna play him and all that stuff. I would love all of that. I would eat that stuff up. But I don't think they'll do it.
I think it's gonna happen because they've been so ominous about it.
What do you mean they've been ominous about it?
She keeps being like, oh, I have a friend. Like, obviously they're close, and obviously, like, I feel like
there's no ominous about it. She mentioned she had a friend, and that was it.
No, it's been mentioned a few times.
No, she's been mentioned it like once or twice in passing.
The one thing I wanted from this episode, which I knew wasn't going to happen because Wu didn't get. Also, where's our man Wu?
He was in there.
I know, but like barely.
I know.
Barely.
It was pretty. It was pretty rough. I was very upset when we got to Monica and Wu's like story, and they were just driving, and it's like, oh, we're here, and it's just some like, I'm like, okay, what is this? And all of a sudden, it was just a little shop kind of set up in the middle of the field, and I was like, I don't think I'm gonna see what I want to see here.
No.
And I didn't. It was just this whole thing.
And I was just confused. Why did the car not go through?
Because it didn't have the power that Monica has.
Okay.
That's just really what it is. I couldn't explain that much either, but it was just a good way of showing that there's definitely some power and there's something different about Monica as a character, and she had to like sacrifice the protection of the car that wasn't going to work and just going through on her own, which also, again, this is why I'm really more infatuated with Monica as a character, because we're seeing a lot of development with her more than anybody else, because she has this gung-ho like spirit, and she's like she's wise, she knows what's really going on or what questions to ask, and she has, after seeing her like leap out of the car and instead of running away, like knowing I can do this, and she decides to like practically almost sacrifice herself to go through the force field, not even knowing if she can or not. Like that shows that she has the hero instinct in her. She has the valor, the gut to like throw herself in, even if it's a risk of her dying. She's like, there's people that need to be saved. I need to save them. They need help. That's so great. That's so great to see for a character like her, because now I'm already rooting for her. And now that I'm starting to get confirmation that she's got powers or she's getting them, she's turning into something more. I'm like, great origin story, guys. I'm loving this character. Fantastic.
Yeah.
I just wish that it was a little bit more about her at this point, so that way I could see more for her, because at the end of the day, it's still a Wanda show. So we have to keep watching Wanda. And I'm like, Wanda, you're not giving me anything. Bring Monica back.
You're just giving me memes. That's all Wanda is giving me.
Yeah, that's the most that comes out of the show with this latest episode is just memes. That's really it. I
like how they did the yelling lady with the cat. That was a funny one.
Yelling lady with the cat?
You know the meme where it's like someone yelling and someone holding them back, and then it's like the cat being like,
oh, yeah. Yeah. They did a meme for that one?
Yeah, when Agnes was holding back Wanda yelling at...
Oh, my God, yeah. Okay. I remember it. Okay, I can see how that works now.
Because it was exactly like she was pointing like this, too.
You just say, okay. That's the other thing. What I find interesting about Monica, again, is that also when she first starts to notice that she has powers, after she breaks through the force field, she like stands up, looks around in the environment, her eyes are glowing blue, and she can like see like the like kind of like the energy coming off of everything. And it's almost like as if it's like it's starting to show you like, oh, whatever her powers are that are starting to develop, it's like she has the power to be able to see past the veil. She can see the illusion. And I feel like that's going to play a really big part of breaking through and actually like putting a stop to this, like knowing what's real and what's not and where the precise point of attack is. So they're building her up to be a very, very crucial character. So crucial. That's why I'm, again, more excited to watch her than anybody else.
Yeah. No, I'm
and excited. At this point, I swear to God, when this next episode comes out, if Wanda is still like not trustworthy of Monica after what Agatha is doing, if she's just like, I don't trust any of you. Yeah.
I think she is.
What, like not trusting Monica?
No, I think she's going to trust Monica.
Yeah, because if she's not, she's going to be so perceived as like really, really stubborn that I'm just going to be like, I'm done with this character. Yeah. Logically, you have to be like, you're clearly not the one hurting me. So like this is the stereotypical like two forces that are opposing each other because they're being influenced from outside forces. But then when both parties are locked up together by the same forces, it's like the enemy of my enemy is my friend. Like that's exactly what this is going to be. So then we're going to get this like dynamic duo sort of moment. Yes, there might be a little bit of trust issues along the way that they're going to have to deal with, but still to see that would be fantastic. But I think the group up is coming. That's what all this is referring to. That's the only thing that post-credit scene did. Was set it up for that, like, okay, they're both going to be in the same area now, in the same position.
No, I agree. Just moving on to one last topic that literally opens up so many theories now of going into, because we are technically an episode away. Technically, who's to know at this point? But we're an episode away from going into the new Doctor Strange movie, which everything this episode now is starting to lead into it. If you notice, the one book that Agatha has is the one missing book from Doctor Strange.
What? When does she have a book?
It's sitting in her little dungeon. There's a book.
I think I remember the moment when she was looking at books.
Yeah.
It blew over my head.
But that's the book that's missing.
Okay, so they are connecting it. We already knew that Doctor Strange was going to play. Are you hoping? Are you hoping that this is somehow going to end on a connection to Doctor Strange, where we might see him or hear something?
It's going to that's. I feel like the whole point of this is to open up the multiverse to bleed into Doctor Strange.
Maybe. I'm still doubtful on if this is opening up a multiverse. I mean, they said it would. They said it was.
It's going to. It's. The Strange movie is called Multiverse of Madness or something.
They're gonna have to do a lot in this last episode to set. I feel like they didn't set anything up.
Yeah, that's why I'm like so confused going into this last episode. What? Like, how are they wrapping this up?
I feel like they're not. I feel like cliffhanger. We're gonna do a second season, and then at the end of that one, that's when you're gonna get.
But Doctor Strange comes out this year.
they're going to put out a season really quickly and then do all that stuff. Like, I don't know how they're going to do it. I really don't know how they're going to do it.
There's
And it's
so
frustrating.
many questionable things right now that, like, they physically cannot wrap this up unless they're like, haha, JK, it was all a dream.
They would never do. Don't no. I don't want. I can't let that. That can't be real.
It was all just Wanda talking to a therapist.
That cannot be real. I don't want. Oh, dude, it's hold on. It's like it's she wakes up from like a deep trance and like Doctor Strange is standing over her like doing some mystical stuff, just like interesting, very interesting. I'm like, no.
Now that you say that, I could possibly see that happening.
It's like she like wakes up and looks at him and goes, "What was that?" And he's just like, "A potential future." And I'm just like, "No, no, not that, no." It's like, what do we do? And it's just, and he starts like opening up a portal to like other universes, going like, "We're gonna have to build a team." I'm like, "No, not this way."
Oh my goodness.
They're gonna do it now. They took note.
I can see it happening. But yeah, I think this episode did not answer any questions. And like all we can sit here theorize about, oh, what does this mean? What does this mean? Like we can't, there's no answers to talk about other than Agatha, which we knew all along.
It's the only payoff that we got, and it was okay. I want to see people start throwing some action at each other, like this next episode. Yeah. I want to see a little bit of characters duking it out. At least give me that, just so I can have something to watch. Because just this one was really a bridge into what they're gonna do. I feel like that's why not that much happened.
Yeah,
especially with Vision and Darcy. Is that her name?
Mm-hmm.
They were really off to the sidelines.
Yeah,
they were just completely out of the equation. Yeah, they were just completely out of the equation the entire time. But then he finally realizes that he's playing along with this thing and he should stop, and he flies off. That's the last time we see him. So again, it's the whole bridging into the final, the finale, which is why I believe this is probably going to be the last one, because now you have the enemy revealed. You have the main character who's starting to doubt everything and now knows who the main villain is. You have another character who's coming into power and trying to help Wanda, and they set it up so they're going to be together in this circumstance. And you have Vision coming in, to save the day, or like to help out at the last most crucial moment. Like everything is lining up to this. They're all going to gang up. It's just right at the right time. So I feel like that's what's going to happen. And I want answers very much for what the construct is, what the reality of that area actually looks like, and what is Vision? Is he actually like alive? Is it his body being animated? I need to know. And I feel like it is, because of the fact we see like the dead version of him when she stares at him. So like I'm waiting for that colorful facade to like before her eyes just melt away into like, oh, they've been living in a damp and decrepit town, and like there's Vision's like dead body just like levitating, like mimicking the, I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't know.
At the end of the day, all I want is to be shocked at least once.
Yeah.
I feel like Disney like did their thing of like, oh, like let's do weekly things so the fans can talk. That really hurt them in this series.
Wait.
That really hurt them.
Really quick, look what Brian wrote. Put that up.
Yeah.
Wong has been in the Hex the whole time, disguised to communicate with Strange. But the thing is, we've seen the mailman. Is that actually Wong? We would have noticed him, or is he? Oh, he's just in disguise.
Yeah.
Would we have noticed that though? Well, that's actually. I don't know. Here's the thing. The one thing that makes me curious about that was this latest episode when Wanda and Monica started going at it. The whole it cut to the mailman who stopped and started watching, which I understand that since it's a construct, every time like Wanda, I guess, starts to lose focus or whatever, I don't know, the construct stops. But it's weird how it's not like this guy didn't just stop in place. He actually stopped and he watched and he observed. Like they chose to cut to this one character to show he was observing. And then when it was over and Monica started following them, they chose to cut back to him again as he went about his business. Again, there's purpose to everything. Why did they choose to show that character? There's not a lot of evidence proving that, Brian, but that would be very interesting, and that would be a good connection into having Strange involved, because then Wong can be like, you like, kind of doing the whole, you need to get down here, like stuff's getting real, you know. He's like, all right. It's like, yo, dude, they're like fighting right now. He's like, I told you. It's like, I'm en route, you know. Like I think that'd be really good, and also to be able to see Wong in action more than we've seen so far in the cinematic universe would be great, because, you know, like I miss that character. Like I think that'd be like really, really, really fun. If anything, we won't even see a Doctor Strange situation. We're going to hear a mention of it through Wong. He's going to be the one that's going to be like, I'm here to help you, you know, come with me if you want to live, you know, that sort of thing.
Yeah.
I feel like that's what's going to happen. But I do like that theory. That sprinkles in a little extra bit of mystery. But again, it's like there's so little proven that could be it.
Yeah. Yeah, like people are theorizing, going off Strange stuff, that Strange is the bunny. Like Strange tried to beat Agatha, and then
what?
Yeah, I don't understand the full context of that one, but they keep zooming in on that bunny.
This show is such an enigma that every little, it's like, oh, you remember that carrot that Wanda ate in like episode 3? That's the Avengers, guys. You believe that? I'm like, what? There's so this is what's happening. It's just a regular show, and everybody is going mad because it's giving us nothing, to the point where it's like we're losing our damn minds. Yeah. We're just like, we think everything is something, and we're not filtering. I believe that there's a chance it could be the bunny, but I never even thought about it until now. I just hate how like things I didn't notice like coming up, like, oh, what about this? What about this? I'm like, too much.
Yeah, no, going back to what I said earlier, I don't think Agnes is actually as bad as they give away.
What do you mean?
I told you this. I feel like it's so much, she's trying to low-key help Wanda, but she's also like,
how?
Like,
she literally like locks her in the basement and says like, hello, Wanda. She killed a dog. How is this not evil?
I explained this. It's the fact that like she's working for Mephisto, but then she's like, oh, okay, maybe if I could like slyly try to help her, because the whole way the end credit scene or the end song happens. We talked about this earlier.
I thought we were on board that she was evil. I know there's the Mephisto thing. I kept saying I don't know what their connection is, but I don't think that she's being controlled. I think she's clearly in power here. She is doing what she's doing. Yeah, or
no, she's like doing whatever she wants to do, but I feel like she's like more helping Wanda subtly than getting the end goal that Mephisto wants.
I think maybe. Or maybe she's, again, I think it's coming right down to she's doing the bidding of like Mephisto, because then I think that's what Brian means with saying like the typical Kevin Feige misdirect, because of the fact it's like you get all these movies, they have a main antagonist who's really kind of doing the work for the big bad who's eventually coming. Like this is just their other version of Thanos. Like here comes another guy, like, you know, but get through these other people first. I feel like that's what they're doing.
Yeah.
Because they're very used to that.
We're going to end it off with this one, but the bunny is Nick Scratch from the comics. Nick Scratch, if I'm not wrong, is from Sabrina.
I don't know.
Nick Scratch is the character in Sabrina.
That would make sense.
I don't think they're in the same universe.
No, I just like, they had a talking cat in Sabrina, so obviously this man could be a bunny.
Archie comics. I don't think
that's Marvel?
I don't know.
They would, but okay, we're gonna stop. I'm gonna stop it right here. They're not going to connect Sabrina and Marvel. Stop it, people. Zachary, let it go. Don't do this to yourself. Just don't. You're getting consumed by the theories. Senior Scratchy, get out of here. What's wrong with you? I'm mentally exhausted.
Yeah, I'm mentally. I just need the new episode to be disappointed yet again.
I'm hoping we're not. I'm hoping we get some sort of like, here's an answer. Here's an answer. I cannot do these like, what did this mean? What did it like?
Yeah.
I need a straight answer, please. We've waited 8 episodes. No, 7 episodes. I need the straight answer for this one. Like that's all I want. That's all I want. Nicholas Scratch is her son. Oh boy.
I need to like have like a crash course on these comics, man.
Yeah, I'm only know like a collective amount of information, and I'm slowly learning more along the way
Yeah.
through having these discussions and stuff. So at the end of the day, guys, these discussions help me and probably Caroline more than anything else. So that's why we have them, and that's why they're so fantastic. And that's why we appreciate you stopping by to watch this episode. See, the perfect freaking segue. That's why we thank you for stopping by and watching this latest update and episode and roundtable discussion of WandaVision episode 7. And of course, especially given from the comments and everything, I know that you guys have your own theories and you have your own interpretations of what things might mean. There's a lot of stuff going on. So please put them down in the comments.
Put them down there.
We really do want to hear about it because we would love to start up more of a conversation because we're already all going mad. So let's just keep going down the rabbit hole. And then also, if you're watching this, Facebook, YouTube, all that stuff, like, subscribe, follow us on all forms of social media at It's Nerd Culture. And yeah, you can always find cool stuff like this everywhere. You can find stuff like gameplay videos, these roundtable discussions, live streams, all that stuff. We do it all. All right. So make sure to check it out.
Because Ryan's about to go live again.
Yeah, Ryan's about to go live. There's a lot of content coming your way today from us, so make sure to check that out. And also, I think we need to start mentioning it now. We're kind of new to this game, but we also have a Patreon, so make sure you check that out as well. You know, there's some stuff we try to work on to give you guys, so make sure to check it out. You know, it might be beneficial to you. I'm just going to leave it at that. So
you know, exclusive merch.
Exclusive merch and stuff. I feel like we're pushing this a little too hard at this point, so you just look at it. But that being said, we appreciate you guys watching.
Bye.
Bye, guys.